here, back on Ultimate Deadpool Haunting Hour. I realize it's been some time since the last video in this, I guess you could say both channel and series, because this video is going to be put on both the Ultimate Deadpool Studios channel as well as the brand new Ultimate Deadpool Haunting Hour channel. So I'll explain more about those two in the future, but for now, mind anything in the background like this web hanging here. I switched base plates so that way I could keep the Deadpool's Vacation set untouched, so that way I can continue that series either tomorrow or Tuesday. So far, let me know how well that series has done. It's kind of done. It's definitely done better than some of my other crap that I've released in the last couple of months. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. So there are 5 minifigures in front of us, and only 2 of which have any significant value to them in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into things. Alright, so you may recognize this character from Deadpool's Vacation Part 3. This is Jack Torrance from the Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, or Kubrick, as I've heard it both ways. Played by Jack Nicholson. So this is a 100% custom-made character. The torso is custom done, the face is custom done, and the hair piece is custom done. So without further ado, let's go ahead and keep going, breaking this character down. So The Shining is by far one of my favorite horror movies. I do like the 1997's version, but when it comes to Stanley Kubrick's take on it, I do understand why people don't like it, because it is not quite like the book, which I still haven't read the whole book. I've only read about half of it, but so far the 1997's version is much closer to the book. For instance, instead of a axe in the book, I'm pretty sure it's like a croquet mallet or something. I know that the hedge maze was not in the book, nor was the blood elevator, but Stanley Kubrick wanted a straight up horror movie and not anything resembling the book. So it was like its own movie with elements from the book, I believe is what they were going for. I don't really know. I didn't write the movie. But anyway, so Jack Torrance, and I think the biggest reason why Stephen King hated The Shining, I don't know if he still does. Somebody let me know down in the comments. Does Stephen King actually still hate Kubrick's take? Because there was something I saw that maybe he eventually grew to like it. The biggest reason why he didn't, as far as I know, the biggest reason why he didn't like it was of Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. And the main reason for that was Jack Nicholson was already too crazy when he got the job at the hotel as the caretaker, and his acting performance kind of led on to the audience saying, hey, yeah, he's going to be going crazy, he's going to go nuts because, you know, there's no beer. And the whole lesson of The Shining, if I'm not mistaken, is he feels like he has to change himself it's something about the hotel represents change. Like, he fears that if he doesn't change himself, then he's just going to lose it, and basically that's what he does. If I'm not mistaken, in the book, he's like a recovering alcoholic. Both in the book, he's a recovering alcoholic. I know that. But like, he doesn't start off as a crazed maniac like he does in the Stanley Kubrick Shining. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Most of you guys probably don't even know the Shining movie, or for those of you who have seen it, there are, like I said, there are 2 different versions. There's the one that Stanley Kubrick did, which is what Jack Nicholson is. And then there's the one that Stephen King wrote a screenplay for that was like a 4-part miniseries or something, which is also pretty good as well. If you have not watched it, I would recommend checking it out. It's 4 hours long, but hey, it's totally worth it. So making Jack Torrance was not hard. The design was relatively simple. It was a plaid shirt, Lego design. Now the design on here is an actual Lego print, with the exception of some of the yellow lines on the shirt, because if you look closely, there are yellow lines in the shirt. That's because the striped shirt that Jack is wearing in The Shining has yellow lines all over it, and then he wears a red jacket over that because it's freaking cold outside and snowing. So making the torso design was actually easy. The face wasn't that hard. I believe it was I think the original color for the face was yellow. Then I took that away, replaced it with flesh tone. And then I added a whole bunch of black dots all over his chin to show that he has a 5 o'clock shadow. Now, the hardest part of Jack Torrance's minifigure was his hair. Now, that sounds ridiculous, but Jack Nicholson in The Shining had a receding hairline, very similar to this. And it was such an iconic look because that's what Jack Nicholson looked like for that movie. And Lego does not have a hairpiece that resembles that. The closest thing I know of that they have is the Ghostbusters Peter Venkman hairpiece from the Firehouse set, which I still don't have, which I'm actually kicking myself for. But anyway, that is the only hairpiece I know of that could work for Jack. There is the other choice, which is Dr. Emmett Brown's from the Back to the Future set, or Back to the Future Lego Dimensions minifigure kit or whatever. That hairpiece would work, but since most of you guys know I am a perfectionist, if it does not look perfect, then it drives me crazy, and then I keep working on it until I get it right or get it to the way I want. Look at Ash Williams. He took forever, and eventually I got it to where I'm satisfied with the way it looks. Freddy Krueger is the same way. It took me forever to get the arms right, and I've used this arm printing ever since. Anyway, so I could not find the right hairpiece. Originally, I was going to give him the new Bruce Banner hairpiece, because it kind of resembles it, but not really. So that was one of my options. The only other thing I could do was mock something up with putty and everything else, and I can't do any of that. So I was basically up against the wall. So I went and looked through my drawers of spare Lego parts and everything, and I came across this hairpiece here, which is actually Mr. Filch's hair from the new Harry Potter blind bags. Now, in Harry Potter, Filch is the caretaker, which is actually kind of funny when you think about it. And he basically is like the janitor of Hogwarts. And his hair has a receding hairline and has a whole bunch of hair on the side, just like Jack Torrance. So what I did is I took the hairpiece and then I painted the gray parts of the hair black, and then on the top I painted all the lines in black as well, because originally they were printed gray, because Filch has gray hair because he's old. So I let the hairpiece dry. I'm like, okay, this doesn't really look quite right. As soon as I put the head on, it immediately popped, and it looked exactly like Jack from the Shining, or at least good, close enough to where it's not going to drive me batshit crazy, like Jack Torrance. You may recognize this character, like I said, from Deadpool's Vacation Part 3. He's the character who chops off Deadpool's head and simply says, all work, no play, make Jack a dull boy, which is exactly what he had on the typewriter in the Shining movie. I believe it was also in the book. I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, it was in the book for at least a second. But one of the most famous parts of the film was all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy, which is where that line came from. So I realize his axe is kind of pathetic. Because in The Shining, he has a much bigger axe, because it's a fireman axe. This is just a simple Lego wood axe, or a wood chopping axe, or a hatchet, or whatever you want to call it. At some point, I will either make or buy a specific, better axe for this character, but for the time being, this is what I've got for now. It's not too bad, and I may change it up a little bit. You know, I can always take a heat gun or something, and pull on the head of the axe, so that way I'm not going to finish that sentence because it's going to sound too sexual, and you know how YouTube is. But then also I can paint the handle brown, just so that way it looks more like a wooden axe. So that's basically it on Jack Torrance. He is by far one of my favorite characters in the horror movie franchise, especially when he's played by Jack Nicholson, because I just love Jack Nicholson. But let me know what you guys think about this character. For those of you who have seen The Shining, let me know. I'm going to do multiple videos on breaking down The Shining at some point on Ultimate Deadpool Haunting Hour. Just because The Shining is probably one of the most analyzed movies of all time. So let's go ahead and go on to the second character, which is not going to take 13 minutes to get through. So basically, this is it. Alright, so here's the other character. He did have an accessory. Let's see, there it is. So crap. I broke the accessory. Give me a second. Hold on. Alright, so I did give him an accessory, and yes, it looks a little weird. Bear with me. The original idea for this scarecrow was to turn it into the scarecrow that I started working on as an actual Halloween decoration. That is still part of my idea plan, but do not get too excited. I don't know exactly how to do that just yet. So for now, he's just going to be a different version of Jonathan Crane's Scarecrow from the Batman series, or from the Batman comic books. So most likely, anytime this figure is shown on camera, he will most likely have at least the hairpiece from the Lego Batman movies Scarecrow. But most likely he'll also have the face as well. That's basically it. I think that this is actually a official Lego Scarecrow. The only thing I couldn't find when I was making the character was the hat and legs. But other than that, I believe it's from one of the new Lego blind bags or something that they do. Because the head and the torso is the same, but the legs and hat are obviously different. If I do end up finding those, I will put them on the Scarecrow. That's basically it for this video. like I said earlier, there were 5 figures on the table, but only 2 of them were significant to this video, and those characters were in fact Jack Torrance, and the Scarecrow. Freddy Krueger, Jason, and Ash had absolutely nothing to do with any of it. Jack Torrance is actually going to go in one of my personal collectible characters. He will be used in a couple of death battles. There's nothing good. He's not going to play any major roles. He will be in the Jason Legend of Crystal Lake movie. He's going to be one of the camp counselors or one of the superstitious people. But that's basically it. He's not going to appear in a whole lot of things just because Jack Torrance is not as big of a character as, you know, Ash Williams or Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers, Deadpool. So keep an eye out for my next video coming out. It's just going to be called certain things that you may have missed in the Deadpool Vacation series so far. Real quickly, one of the Easter eggs that's been in there so far was RoboCop. So that's basically it. As well as a couple other new designs that were snuck in the actual series as well. I will not make that video until after that series has ended, so keep an eye out for that. Most likely there's going to be at least 1 to 2 more parts left. Just like the original Target Deadpool, there's only going to be probably about 4 to 5 parts. So we're almost done with that series, unfortunately. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys all next time on the next Haunting Hour. Sorry, I had to do it once. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all next time. You guys are awesome. Bye.